If I remember correctly, when we've done previous interviews together, you go by Liz,
I go
correct?
by Liz. Yeah.
Wonderful. So,
How
good
are you?
morning, Liz. I'm great. One of my favorite Donna moments this season is when she tells Ethan in the kitchen of Colony House that Tian-Chen loved him very much. Leading up to that moment, it felt as though Donna was cracking under the pressure of everything going wrong in the town. Can you share your perspective of that scene? And do you feel as though it was a moment that helped Donna to recenter herself as this leader and caretaker of the Colony House?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's like in life that I think she is crumbling. I think she's crumbling throughout. This season is rough. What's going on with the food? And then when she sees Ethan and knowing what's playing with him, that it's that moment where an adult needs to rise above to hold a child and let them know as best they can that something is going to be okay or that there's meaning to it. And I think while doing that, that often lifts us while we do it because we're taking care of the youth.
In rewatching from season three, specifically to focus on all of the Donna scenes, I noticed that she does a lot of emotional labor for others. But from your perspective of all the details and nuances of Donna's inner workings, is anyone ever reciprocating and checking in on Donna's emotional well-being?
That no, I don't. I don't think so. Not. I, I think it crosses Boyd's mind. I mean, we have a moment where he has no choice but to be there for her because she just cracks the scene where they go upstairs and she just breaks down in his arms. But yeah, on the whole, no one's really taking care of her.
Do you believe that Donna is conscious of the fact that people are not reciprocating that emotional labor?
I don't think she's conscious of it. No.
Mm. Well, that could be something interesting for the writers to explore in season four. I hope we get a season four because the season three
Yeah.
finale is really good.
Oh, I
Uh,
hope we get a season four too. I want to know what happens.
yeah, a lot of answers and a lot of questions simultaneously being delivered to the audience. But you bring up Boyd, and I would love to know. We see that Donna and Boyd have experienced a lot of ups and downs in their relationship across not just this season, but all three seasons of From. What do you feel are the roots of their disagreements as well as their camaraderie with one another?
I think that they both recognize in each other that there is a good heart there, that there's when you just know that someone is a stable, good-hearted person and you can trust them. And I think they sense that in one another. But I think their backgrounds in life have brought them to really different places of how you function with the problems we're being presented.
Hmm.
There's a respect there, even when we really disagree. It's hard for me to say to Boyd, I really think you're wrong.
I mean, there's a lot of clashing with Boyd this season, so it's not
Oh
specific to
yeah.
Donna.
Oh no, no. There's a lot of clashing with it, but I think it's always harder to clash with someone that you actually believe in
Hmm.
and that you do care for than to clash with somebody who's just a dick.
I think they both know that their hearts are in the right place, so
I think so.
I love that. I love that there's always love there.
Yeah.
So I've seen all of season three, but I'm going to publish this interview after episode eight is released. So at that point, Donna knows that Fatima was the one who got Tilly. Can you offer an insight into Donna's mental and emotional state upon learning this, given how close of a relationship she has to Fatima within the colony house?
It's well, it's heartbreaking, but it's also again, Donna has such a strong sense of what's right and wrong that I think she really trips over it. It's painful. It's like family betraying you,
Hmm.
even though. And this is where I can't remember something I know. I can't remember, um, you know, because I wasn't there. But what Fatima did, like I know what she did, but like how much it was her own volition.
Right,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, thank you so much for your time, Liz. I hope you have a great day with the rest of all of your interviews, and congratulations on another fantastic season. I have had so much fun watching it. I'm more invested now than ever, so we definitely need a season four because I need to see what happens next.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I agree. We need a season four.
Good morning, Corteon. I'm very excited to speak with you because we have never done an interview together.
No.
So, last year I spoke with Pegah and I asked her something I would also like to ask you because one of the things I love the most about Ellis is that he's a genuine wife guy. So, what
Yeah.
do you think it is that ultimately made Fatima and Ellis fall in love and keep loving each other as much as they do?
Oh wow, that is a really good question. Um, I don't know. It's funny. Ellis is like such a. I feel like he'd be such a hard partner to have because he's so. Especially when they met, he was like really depressed and really angry. Um, but I think what made them fall in love is I think they kind of balance each other out, especially when they first met. So I think the reason that they fell in love and that they got together is because I think they balanced each other out and they were each learning from one another. I think Ellis learned a lot of how to forgive and how to, find happiness and light in this town. And, maybe Fatima was learning a bit of how to actually, I don't know. I think honestly, I really just learned only from her, which is, why I think I fell so deeply in love with her. And I think we stay together because, you know, we're lucky to have each other in this really awful place. And I think they both understand that, like on a very, very, very deep level. And, in a place that's so awful to be in, with so many people who are not really the best to be around at times, like to have somebody who makes you feel comfortable and, kind of makes you feel like you're at home is not it's not a small thing. So, I think they got something really special. And I think they know that.
In episode 9, Ellis finally learns about Boyd's ongoing Parkinson's symptoms. What are the emotional ramifications of this for Ellis and how he navigates the ongoing mayhem of the last bit of this season?
Yeah, it's really tough. I mean, I remember when we first got that script, I didn't realize that Parkinson's was a hereditary disease. I didn't realize that it would pass down to one another. So I remember when me and Harold were rehearsing just before we had shot it, he had said to me, as kind of just like a drop-in exercise, I guess. He just like looked at me right before we started the scene and he was like, I have Parkinson's and you probably will too, or something like that. I remember getting really affected by it. Because my grandfather in real life has Parkinson's. I don't think my dad has it, but who knows? It could hit me in real life. And then just standing across somebody like Harold, who's a very dear friend of mine now and a mentor, and such an amazing actor. It was really, and it just kind of hit me in a really, really, really deep level, and in a very similar way that it hit Ellis, I think, because he's still dealing with this understanding that maybe he was going to be a dad. Who he's still holding on to an aspect of that, and through that journey, he kind of learned more of how to love his own father, Boyd, and he was just kind of seeing like for the first time, it was a real, real heartbreak that almost had nothing to do with the town. It was just a father and son sharing in this really awful kind of grievance. And yeah, I think it also kind of gives him a chance to see things for what they actually are now. And I think that's kind of been a theme that Ellis has been exploring of like why he's focused so much on love and why he's been so excited to be a dad is because he's trying to make do with what he has. But this idea of losing his dad now earlier than anticipated is something that I think is putting a fire in his ass, basically being like, I don't know, maybe I need to get out of here. Maybe I need to be a support system for my dad in a way that I never have before. But yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot to take on.
To get a bit more of an insight into your acting process, were there any details that you built into Ellis's backstory that might not necessarily be officially canon in the
Oh,
show's writing, but are things that you've built in order to ground yourself in who you understand Ellis to be?
yeah. One is one that is like I just always thought it was funny. I think when I first got the part, Ellis was supposed to be really, like the classic kind of like artsy, kind of moody guy. And I really wanted him to be a bit more of like an action hero. And I pushed for that for a long time. It never really came to be. But always in the back of my brain, I've always thought of Ellis as like a military kid, because both Abby and Boyd are both, Iron Abby and Fisherman Loaves Boyd, or whatever they called him. And Mr. Fish and Loaves. I see Ellis as kind of just like a real, elbow grease kind of military brat who turned into an artist full-fledged when he moves to this place and doesn't really have anywhere to use that strength. But yeah, I'd say that's the biggest thing, because everything else, I think it really was on the page and was kind of given to me by John, and also kind of like created just through like acting across Pegah and Harold and the rest of the cast and stuff.
And then one quick final question. Given how large the From ensemble is and how the interpersonal relationships seem to ebb and flow from season to season, is there anyone that you would like to see Ellis have more scenes in a potential season 4, perhaps a character that he hasn't gotten to know as deeply as the core group of characters he interacts with the most?
Yeah. I think I probably have the most popular answer, and that's Victor. I think a lot of people are probably going to say that, especially this season. Yeah, I'd really like to work with Victor. I think he's so amazing. If anyone's seen him, I'm sure you've met him, but he's just like so far from his real character, and it's such a cool thing to witness on set. And then, I would always love some more time with Ricky, who plays Kenny. He's one of my closest friends. But yeah, I'd say Victor, Kenny, and then maybe like Sarah or something. I feel like there'd be something cool with Sarah maybe down the line. I think, yeah, never. Yeah. That's it.
I know what my answer is to that, but that might be a bit
What is it?
controversial. Do
What
you want
is
me to tell
it?
you? Okay, I'll
Yeah.
tell you, but when I say it, I'm going to cover like this so I can mute it in post because it involves spoilers. But
Okay.
I would really like to see Ellis interact more,
Yeah.
specifically because of
Yeah.
everything that happens in the season finale and everything that gets revealed. I just find it would be really interesting to see those two characters have to deal with everything that happened
You're right.
and
Yeah.
why it happened. And I think it would be really interesting material for you to play as performers.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that I was kind of gonna say that. I didn't know that I was gonna give away with that. Yeah, that's crazy. Again, I won't say who, but even that stuff is really, I remember it being really, really good. And what that turns into afterwards is just insane. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a great season finale. I really hope you get to be back for season 4. It's fantastic to
I think
watch.
so.
And I did not expect to see in the season finale. So I
Yeah,
can only
I don't
imagine
think
what will come
anybody
in
did.
season 4.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. But yeah, nobody did. That's gonna be the biggest shock of the season, I think.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Corteon, and hopefully we get a season 4 and you and I can speak again about whatever's next for Ellis.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.